SSAS pensions. What are they? Who can use them? And how do you go about setting one up? Well, that is something that Kevin Whelan will answer in this video. What is a SSAS pension and who can actually use them?
Okay. So a SSAS pension, as I mentioned earlier on, is a very poorly named but technically accurate pension scheme called a Small Self-Administered Scheme. Now, small means less than 12. So in the world of pensions, you've kind of got two really giant land territories. You've got on the right-hand side, the big personal pensions and the SIPs, all run by organizations who own and run those schemes. You're just borrowing their pension. And on the other hand, big companies like Lloyds Bank and other banks that Bronwyn used to work for, where you work for a company and they're big schemes. Right in the middle, there's John getting in the way.
He's doing his duty.
Yeah. There's a tiny sliver of land, which is just for the SME, where the self-administered basically means self-directed. It doesn't mean self-administered at all, but it just means you run your own pension. You take control, you steer it, you direct it, and business owners are used to directing their own things. And scheme is just another word for pension. So small, less than 12, self-directed scheme. Basically, it's a pension and a business stuck together. So you run your pension like a business. So if you can run a business, property business, or a conventional business, you can take control. And all you're really doing is taking control of the bank account. So instead of it sitting in the stock market, paying fees and doing what stock market investments do or don't do, whatever you like about those, you can change that direction and pilot or steer your own ship, airline, car, whatever it is, and you can direct that in the way you want to go. So you're not told where to go, you choose where to go.
One question that's linked to this though, Kevin, is, and it's something that I've always been intrigued about, is when you're buying a property, for instance, and you want to put a deposit in, you might have only a finite amount of money. But with pensions, if you are in a family, like a business, as you mentioned earlier, can you pull pension funds together so your buying power is increased by the number of people you put into the pool?
An incredibly good point, Simon, that whenever you're looking, particularly in property, where you make money normally on the buying, the more purchasing power you've got, the more power you have, the more control that you have. Now, you can pool up to 11 people. Now, that's a relatively big company, certainly a big family. But in general terms, for the most part, we're seeing an average of, for family businesses, between 2 and 4. So in Bronwyn's case, it's you and John. Yeah. In my case, it's me, my wife, and I've got 3 grown-up kids. And anybody who's got kids, we can talk about that, which does some interesting things about lifetime allowance. So I'm sure somebody might want to ask a question about lifetime allowance.
There is a question about that. There is a question. Don't spoil it though, Kevin. Don't spoil. I've got a mute button. I have a good mute button. You know, it's very powerful.
So you can pool that money, Simon, which means you can negotiate in cash, because if you get husband and wife and let's say, or 4 business owners, you're putting that money together. Instead of having your own pension, doing your own thing in your own way and paying fees that way, you bring it together, one set of fees and one direction that gives you much more buying power.
And what a great band they are, One Direction. Hopefully that video was useful for you, but please do not stop there. There are plenty of videos that I know that will help you build your wealth whilst reducing your tax liability. And in this video, well, this is the one I think you should be watching right now.